How is it possible to incorporate travel as a part of an individual's architectural career? Why do architects wear black? What subjects do you recommend in high school? How do you survive the first year of architecture school? How do you think of ideas and concepts? Sine squared plus cosine squared equals question mark. I'm pretty sure that's a trig identity. What is your advice for teenagers that want to be an architect? Oh my God. Hi guys, it is your girl Nat here. So I thought today we could do like a fun Q&A, that kind of deal. Look at that awful apple that I painted. I get so distracted.
Okay.
So recently I posted on my Instagram to celebrate 15,000 subscribers. Ask me anything. You should do a Q&A video. There's a lot of personal questions. There's some architecture related questions. Definitely needs to be later in here. So I guess we can start out with the first question. That is, do you prefer coffee or tea? So my dad is an avid tea drinker. That's when I started drinking some tea. When I got to grad school, I started pounding it back. So on the gram, we do have so many freaking questions. I mean, I don't even have this many friends. I never knew that you guys wanted to know so much. Why do architects wear black? Black's superior. After spending so many sleepless nights in studio, we feel dead inside, and black is just the perfect way to mourn ourselves. REVIT versus RHINO as an architecture student. That's a good question. I actually think you should learn both. In school, I've only used RHINO, never REVIT. REVIT is typically used in the professional world. How do you think of ideas and concepts? Honestly, I read the brief like 5,000 times and then I go on Pinterest. Pinterest, even though sometimes people think it's overrated, is super useful for architecture students. There's a lot of ideas on there. And I'm not saying you should plagiarize any ideas, but it's really good just to like look at a bunch of other projects and go from there. I do have a whole video on concept development and how to like start and things that I think a good concept actually encompasses, and you can watch it up there. When is your birthday? My birthday is actually coming up. It is August 5th. It's weird. I went into the beginning of the pandemic at 22 and I'm coming out at 24. Oh my God. Sine squared plus cosine squared equals question mark. I'm pretty sure that's a trig identity. It's been a year since I took calc. I'm pretty sure it's 1, or no. Is it tangent? No. I'm gonna look it up. Sine squared plus cosine squared is 1. So thank you. In reality, is it possible to balance architecture with other important parts of your life? Social life, traveling, working on yourself, etc. Yeah, absolutely. And if you can't, you need better time management skills. Because you bleeding for architecture isn't gonna last and it's not worth it. So I'm always an advocate for taking care of your mental health. Is water wet? For water to be wet, I can't believe we're still having this debate in 2021. For water to be wet, it has to be able to be dry. Therefore, water is not wet. How is it possible to incorporate travel as a part of an individual's architectural career? I feel like if you're really far up in your architecture firm, you actually have the capability of traveling and visiting certain job sites and stuff like that. If you also become a professor of architecture, you have 3 months of traveling, and also schools have a bunch of study abroad trips. So if you know Italian or another language of a hot architectural spot that students would pay a lot of money to go to, you can basically travel on their dime. Do I play any sports? No, I don't. I am so unathletic. It is not even funny. Why do you always talk about the lack of sleep in architecture? Because it's true, and I feel like you don't know until you're there, if that makes sense. The sleep stuff sucks. What is your favorite thing about architecture? I would say the feelings that it can exude from people. I think that's super powerful, and it's actually kind of crazy that architecture itself has that power to transform spaces and influence lives the way it does. What do you recommend if you can't afford architecture materials during university? Using like cardboard boxes. I would always look at the freshmen. A lot of freshmen will change their majors and they'll leave behind their whole toolkits and stuff. Once the term's over, if there's still stuff there, it's just a freshman that never picked up their stuff. I would really wait though. Like, you don't want to steal anything, of course. It's expensive though, and we really need to talk about how expensive it is. I also got the question of, am I a perfectionist? For the longest time in my life, I was a perfectionist, and actually it took me years to get over. I was the straight A student. I was super quiet and mousy. It was a lot. I just realized that at the end of the day, the project's gonna get done anyway. So whether it's perfect or not, it's okay. What does my desk setup look like? Well, right now I don't really have an office or anything like that. It literally looks like this. It's a mess. I apologize. Probably can't see it because of my freaking water bottle. Do you see it? Please hold. I have a Dell. And I have a Monopoly Game of Life, like supporting my computer monitor. What is your advice for teenagers that want to be an architect? I would sketch anything and everything. Sketch some more, sketch your hometown, sketch famous landmarks that you really like and enjoy, and it really helps with your concept ideation. And also if you're sketching in front of your professor, you can really flex a little bit. What's the main reason for vlogging? Are you trying to be famous? No, I'm not. The next question I have is, how is architecture grad school? Honestly, I can't really speak to it super well. So just because of the pandemic, it was difficult. No, but I'm actually so happy I didn't have to model make anything because I don't like that. I actually saved so much money not model making, and I saved money on not printing anything. So I think all architecture schools should incorporate projectors, and we should just call it a day. What would be the best possible way of working on a project after getting the brief from architecture school? Scour Pinterest and make a bunch of iterations for forms, because sometimes I think we get really stuck where we're thinking of a good concept, make like 20 iterations. And I think this is a good way to do a bunch of little studies, and they can be crappy. So this is why it's important to let that perfectionist mindset go a little bit. Have you got time to do sketching? I haven't sketched in so long, and honestly, it's a crime. So I have to get back to it. But here are some sketches that I did in the past. I think still my favorite is Big Ben. Who is your favorite architect? I really like Louis Kahn, and I know he's very boxy. He really practiced in the area where I grew up. That was really cool in history class, just seeing his buildings from my hometown area. So I really liked that. What subjects do you recommend in high school? Math courses, physics courses. I wouldn't say science, but physics and anything like relating to physics. Art classes, especially ceramics or anything involving 3D modeling, is super important for you to know how to do. And also, if you know right off the bat that you don't like 3D modeling, maybe architecture isn't the right major for you. You will need to do it for at least 7 years straight in school, so that's why it's important to know. Do you regret studying architecture? And I'm gonna shout out Jason here. First of all, Jason is on Clubhouse, so it's like a live podcast. He does some great architecture talks. I'll link everything down below. He's so fantastic. But as for Jason's question, no, I don't regret studying architecture, and I learned a lot. How do you survive the first year of architecture school? Watch my videos. That's how. How old were you when you wanted to be an architect? I would say 19, or I just turned 20, so it wasn't something I always wanted to do, that's for sure. Let's make some breakfast. So today I am making fake eggs, and by fake eggs I mean actually fake eggs. I'm talking about eggs made from plants. Now, if you don't know, I am a vegan. Cue the montage, or whatever you call it. I don't know anything about film. Breakfast was demolished. Since going vegan, I really only eat like one meal a day, so this is like my preferred meal of the day. The next question I have is, what kind of summer job did I have before studying architecture? Before I entered architecture after my freshman year, I don't think I got an internship. I got a job in marketing. During that summer, I took a AutoCAD course. I understand how boring those classes are, so I'm working on a super duper top secret special project. I know you guys are gonna get a lot of value out of it, and I bet you can already guess what it is. The best piece of advice, I don't remember any advice that was given directly to me, but the best piece of advice I have for you is that college is such a precious time. It's gonna fly by, and you're gonna be all sad a couple of years from now thinking that, oh man, I don't have any like really good memories because I killed myself in architecture studio. Don't do that. Go out and have fun with your friends and explore college and go to football games and go to parties that you shouldn't be at because your mom's texting you like, where are you? You're only gonna be in college once or twice if you go to grad school. The last thing you wanna do is look back on your college years with any sense of regret. And I think that's a good place to stop. So, all right, well, thank you so much for watching, guys. This was I'm so sorry my camera died. Okay, well anyway, that was a really fun video for me to make. I hope you guys got all your answers. Yeah, and I hope to see you guys next week. Love you guys.